Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings. How are you all doing? Well, another blow for justice. What a travesty. Oh my goodness. I guess you've all heard that Meghan Markle has successfully had Samantha Markle's defamation claim dismissed by Judge Honeywell. Thoughts on that one? I bet you've all got a lot of thoughts on that one. Oddly enough, this person who's been in touch with me quite a while back, we kind of had a bet with each other, and I was convinced that it was far too early to be throwing anything out, but apparently not. And this person had predicted pretty accurately that this would be the outcome. And I'm not even going to tell you what the next step is. I mean, there'll be costs, won't there? But I did see Nate the lawyer. There's, I think he said there's a 14-day window or something to refile something. I have no idea, because his lives are like an hour. I've actually got a stinking cold today, which has developed at the most inconvenient moment, actually. But I mean, this has got to go down. It's not quite as bad as the misremembering Judge Warby. I mean, oh my God. The misremembering for perjury, that I think deserves case law all in itself. I dread to think what travesties of justice will come because of that precedent. But cheer up. Apparently, as a follow-up, hot on the heels, Meghan's been awarded some award from something called the Gracie Awards that, again, I had never, ever heard of in my life before. I looked it up. It's a lady who was a comedian, and I think she was married to George Burns, and I do know who George Burns was. I love George Burns. Famous quote of his was, "Too bad all the taxi drivers and hairdressers are too busy driving taxis and cutting hair to rule the world." And he's got kind of a point. I suppose that's us, isn't it? Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you what we are. We are the court of public opinion. Certainly in our sector. It doesn't make her popular. If anything, it makes her more unpopular. So looking at this from a PR point of view, yes, it was Samantha who brought the action, but she brought the action because Meghan said a load of bitchy shit about her on Oprah, which made Meghan really quite unpopular. Apart from the fact that the Markles were treated like the bad fairies and they weren't allowed anywhere near the wedding, and then she had the lawsuit over her father's letter, and she started all that, getting her 5 friends. She had 5 friends go to People magazine, chatting shit about her dad, who'd kept his mouth shut about the letter, which, in order to defend himself, he released parts of the letter, and we all know the story. And because the Markles come across to me, I don't think they're poor people, but in comparison to Harry and Meghan, they are fairly impoverished. And so, I mean, she might as well go out slapping babies and stamping on kittens. In the same manner, you start shitting on and stamping on impoverished relatives, fairly powerless relatives. That is not going to make you popular, Meghan. Neither is winning some award that I've never heard of before to maybe compensate for the fact you're not on the Met Gala list. I don't know. We hope. Or will she be? Will she be on the Met Gala list? Will she be on the balcony? Oh, look at me, the Misrememberer. You know, I don't mean to be a bitch, but I mean, it does look like bad behaviour, bad behaviour, bad behaviour. And the judge just said, well, that's just her opinion. So she's entitled to her free speech and opinions. But the rest of us had better zip it. Speaking of which, yesterday's video took all day for YouTube to approve. All day. And I've never had that before. It could be a glitch. I don't know. But what I have noticed, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, is that I have Sugars attacking Harry and actually demanding to know who my anonymous friend is, who is seriously considering doing the live, but there are technical difficulties. We're not going to be in the house much longer. They've got to find a way of disguising their voice. They're well up for it, and they said, you guys throw tough questions. So, but there are technical difficulties with that. But I have had one particular little sugar literally demanding to know who this person is. And to me, it just comes across as Meghan's lost control. Oh my God, who is this from my camp who might be talking to these fucking YouTubers? What's going on? Yeah, someone's worried. Someone is worried. But don't worry about me, guys, or this person. We are... and I mean, it's not Harry or Meghan. Well, it's obviously not Meghan. It's not Harry or anything like that. It's just somebody. I mean, so Meghan's allowed to go on global TV, and that's what Oprah is, and chat shit about her family, and that's just her free speech. But I saw a bizarre article in the Daily Mail the other day. Now, maybe the Daily Mail had put a slant on it, I don't know. But on the face of it, it was a lady in France who had taken a photograph of the rubbish building up, because you know there's big kick-offs going on in France at the moment. Big kick-offs. I've never seen anything like it in all my life. And she took this picture, like a selfie with the rubbish in the background, and she put it on Facebook, and she said something like, look at all the rubbish, and we have to negotiate with the rubbish, referring to Macron as rubbish. She's been arrested. I'm like, what? What? This woman has been arrested? I mean, how thin-skinned is Macron? What the hell? Is he a dictator? What is going on? And obviously it's the Republic of France, so I bet they wish they had a monarchy now. If you get a president that is that dictatorial, you are not allowed to say the slightest critical thing. Can you imagine if that becomes the norm everywhere? I know you guys in Canada have had a little taste of it with Trudeau. Or is it Trudeau? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Is that going to become the norm? Because if we're not even allowed to, like, boo politicians or criticise politicians, well, they can literally do what the hell they like. All I can say is the prisons are going to be very, very full of a lot of people. This loss of free speech, and yet these overlords... Well, if she is going to go to these Gracie Awards, I pray to God she wears a pretty dress. Meghan, for once. I doubt she will. She'll probably wear something horribly inappropriate, as usual, that just doesn't fit her, doesn't suit her. Whatever else I criticise Meghan for, she is a lovely-looking, middle-aged woman. So, for fuck's sake, please, I beg of you, Meghan, if you're watching this, take some fashion advice. You don't know anything about fashion. Just get someone else to dress you. I think that's everything on my list. Poor old Sam, eh? Poor old Sam. And I repeat, I see Ellie Hall's tweeting. Christopher Boozy, of course. He's always like after the event, isn't he, Boozy? He claims credit for things. He waits till some shit's happened and then he goes, oh, I did that. That was me, behind the scenes. Yeah, right. Omid, not so much. Omid is going on and on about the Gracie Awards. Oh, my goodness. And so the cycle continues. You know, has anybody else noticed there's a pattern? Buying awards. Oh, I'm not suggesting for a minute Meghan bought an award from the Gracies. It was for her highly talented archetypes, which I never listened to because it just sounded so boring. So talented, not. So she gets an award for being boring and lacking talent, and she wins a court case for telling a load of shit that wasn't true about her sister. You know, society only works when people have respect for the justice system. It can very quickly fall apart. And I'll tell you one person who was painfully aware of that, oddly enough, was Margaret Thatcher. She always knew there was a line, and my God, that woman pushed the line. She pushed it a long way, but she knew there was a line you do not cross. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people in charge at the moment perhaps should study the French Revolution, maybe? Yikes. As always, guys, thoughts, opinions. Thank you very much for listening.